Hey, what is going on, guys? I'm Tom, and I'm back with another how-to for bread. And now, today, I'm gonna be showing you how to do a concha bread. Now, concha is pretty much a sweet bread with the cookie on top. That is the easiest way I can explain it. So, conchas are more very well known with the Spanish community. Preferably the Mexican community. Since it actually originated in Mexico. Oh, so the actual origin of the concha itself dates back to the early 1500s of pre-colonialization. And so, pretty much what happened was the he, Spanish came in, and they took over the Mexican area, like the Mexico area, which was occupied by groups such as the Aztecs and stuff. This is, well, and normally when people take over areas, as like groups or governments or anything like that, they tend to force their ideals on the group. So, in this concept, they force their eating habits also on them. So, for the European, their meals provided predominantly on wheat. This did not sit well for the natives at the time, because their main sources of food were like beans, corn, all that stuff. And wheat, alone to them tasted very bland. And so they did not enjoy the fact that they were forced to do this. So, with that being the case, I'm just gonna say Mexicans for this because they technically are, and it's just difficult to explain them as natives. So pretty much with this, the Mexicans were forced to have the wheat. They were forced to eat it because of the eating practices and also the religious practice, as considering wheat plays a big part in Catholic belief. So, this went on for about half a century, until a Mexican got an idea to dip their bread into some of the chocolate cacao that they had, or chocolate cocoa. If you don't exactly know what the actual cocoa bean is named. So because of this, as everyone got the idea of dipping their bread into sweet coffee or the chocolate cacao. Not bad. Not exactly the concha yet, but it was an idea. Another idea that they had was topping the bread with a local brown sugar that was around. But still not technically the concha yet. So the concha didn't actually progress as any further than that until the 1700s, where French chefs came over to try and find out about how this new world, because it's still technically a new world to them. So with that, they brought over the brioche recipe. Here, brioche bread. This is by belief, but it's also a very believable belief, if that explains at all. Like due to brioche being very flavorful and stuff, I could see it actually being true. So, that's kind of the reason why it's believable. Oh. So with that, they started having brioche until a little later on again, a Mexican had the idea to put on a product made of flour, corn flour, like wheat flour, corn flour, sugar, and lard. Which pretty much is a fat. You can, I think they might have also done butter as well. For those that could actually use butter. So, because of this, as they pretty much made the first Concha. And it is a very flavorful and desirable product in the Mexican community. So, go to Curiosity. So, pretty much, now that I have given the information, pretty much, let's get down to how to make said Concha. Now, pretty much, the Concha recipe I've got, it's not a long process, but it could also be a long process, depending on how you put it. So, for the Concha dough itself, we're going to be making a sponge with it. So, the sponge is 98.2% of the total dough percentage. So the sponge is comprised of 50% bread flour, 46.6% milk, and 1.6% yeast. In the final dough, I already mentioned the sponge. So the bread flour is 50%. That'll equal out to your 100% flour concept. Eggs are 17%. Salt is 2%. Softened butter is 20%. And sugar is 30%. Your total dough weight with this, or dough percentage, is 217.2%. Now, for this, I did a 900 gram or 2 pound recipe for this. Yes, so pretty much process in making this is you make the sponge, and you let it hold for 30 minutes. Now, it's kind of imperative that this sponge kind of has gluten structure in it, because of the high fat content. So, you're kind of mixing it into a dough. You're not just combining everything and just letting it sit, like most sponges. So, with that, after the 30 minutes, you're going to add together with your sponge, her bread flour in the final dough, your eggs, your salt, and a third of your butter. So you're going to mix that till it's homogeneous, or one. Then you're going to mix it on a higher speed until it gets an intense gluten structure, which is pretty much when you have a little film on the gluten structure, and it's not exactly, you can see any heavy parts of flour. So it's sort of like a translucent plastic film per se. Okay, so that's pretty much what an hen's gluten structure is. So next, what you're going to do is when that's done, you're gonna add the second and third of butter. So you're gonna have 2/3 of your butter inside the dough. Now mix it again until it's homogeneous on high till he's intense. After that, you're gonna put in your final third, and then half your sugar. Yet again, doing the same thing. Mix till homogeneous, mix on high till intense, and again, when you finish with your final whole half of your sugar. After this, he's going to rest for 1 hour. You are not folding him, so you don't have to worry about that. And once he is ready, you are going to divide him into 2-ounce pieces. So, considering this is a 2-pound thing, I, in hypothesis, should get 16. I got about 15 out of it, so that's not such a ridiculously big difference. So, with that now, what's going to happen is, you're going to form into balls, and you're going to let them rest. If you're doing it for a morning meal, you're going to let them rest overnight. But if you're doing it for something a little later, you're going to leave them out until they're ready to bake off. So, like, they're proofed and everything. Okay. So, after that, you're going to put on the Concha topping. Now, while I talk about the Concha topping, I am going to also be showing you how to do it. What did I put on? So, this is the Concha topping. Pretty much it has a basic Concha topping I did, so it can be versatile. Maybe you don't like chocolate or something, which normally you would see it with regular chocolate, regular being vanilla. But the vanilla I just did because you can be more creative with it. So pretty much how to make the Concha topping. And the topping is made of your 100% being cake flour, or 74.9% being confectioner's sugar, 8% vanilla extract, 19.3% is softened butter, and 56.9% is shortening, having a total of 259.1% being your total percentage. Now, I kind of did this with the idea that I'm putting on like an ounce on each Concha. I'm probably not going to be doing that much, so I'm probably going to have some left over. But this is fine because Concha you can reuse. So pretty much for making the Concha, you can do it the day of or a day before, or you finish it up. Either one is fine. There really isn't a argument towards doing it before or after you make the dough. Just so long as it's cool enough that you can actually work him and roll him. So pretty much you're making him and then you're allowing him to cool in your fridge for a little bit of time, just so you can kind of get the ability to do that. So Well, in short, how you make the concha is, or the topping, is you're going to cream him in a paddle, and this is, you're going to have a couple of more her stuff for it. And just as a side note. Oh, so you're going to cream your shortening, your butter, and your vanilla extract with a paddle attachment and inside of a mixer until it's light and airy. So, after that, you're sifting with a sifter your cake flour and your confectioner sugar. Side note for her cake flour, as a fun fact, it is actually illegal in Europe because to create cake flour, you have to put flour through a bleaching process. Now, this actually destroys all gluten structure, so if you are a bread baker, you are not going to like it so much. Where did I put that? So, pretty much, the only stuff you can actually do with cake flour is you can make cakes, which that was predominantly what they made it for, and some cookies. Cookie. So, with that being said, can't find my cake flour, so I am just going to be using a tidbit of bread flour. Shouldn't be that big of a problem because of what it actually is hang on top of. Well, so pretty much you're sifting in your cake flour and your confectioner sugar, and you're mixing it until it starts to come together and is one solid mass. Once it is a solid mass, stop mixing. You're good, and he is ready to go into the fridge. To cool. Now, when he cools, he is ready. He should not take more than 10 minutes, I want to say, to cool. After that, you can use them. Just make sure before you use them, you work him. So, as I did before, I was working the dough, because he's technically cold when you're bringing him out. So when you're rolling him, he's just going to keep tearing and stuff. So you want to work him a little so he stays a mass. So, pretty much I already mentioned 2 of the 4 extra tools you're going to need. So the second two tools that you're going to need are a rolling pin. And now, if you want to use a French rolling pin, if you want to just use a ball bearing rolling pin like this, you're fine. It's up to you. If you can use the French rolling pin, that's fine. If not, this is your best bet for having a level surface. So you're going to roll him until he is roughly 1/4 of an inch thick. Now that's your ideal size. And then you're going to get your final tool you need, a 10-inch round, and you're just going to top him. I don't even think this is just for the purpose. I am going a smidge smaller, because I think this guy's a little too big. This guy's good now. Okay. So, oh, these two are just the two major things you need. So, here is it rolled out. It's roughly 1/4 of an inch here. Now, I already know right now this is going to be difficult pulling out. Oh, so, oh, normally when you do this, you want to get as close together as possible so you don't have to do so many of these so many times. So, getting close enough together to it and then pressing down. And I'm not going to get another one out of this. Yes. And that is pretty much how it'll come out. Oh. So, with that, just because I don't expect it to come off that easily, I'm taking a mini offset spatula and just running it down below to release him. This is your Concha top. And if you actually taste it, it does kind of taste like cookie dough. Oh, just a little fun fact with that. So, this guy's about ready to start, so I'm going to start putting these guys on, and I'm going to explain the steps forward after this. Yes, so, in short, once they are once they're approved, if you're doing it overnight, what you're going to do is when you pull them out, it's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour for them to come back up to temp. When this happens, you're going to place on the conchas, and they are going to go into a 375 degree oven. And once you have them in, what you're going to do is you're going to drop the temp down to 350, and they're going to go for about, I want to say, 13 minutes. I'm doing this straight out. Word of advice. I'm doing these predominantly right out of a book. Look, pretty much most of these are not necessarily mine. And they are actually under her chef Hans Velker, in his book Professional Bread Baking thing. So, just to avoid the dangers of copyright. Right. So, yeah, 13 minutes. Once they're out, if you have a tool for it, you necessarily don't have to do this. As you're going to spray the top with water, and you're going to give a design to the concha with a concha topper. Normally they look like shells, so that's roughly what they would look like for a design. But you can also, I believe there's also some that do spirals. There's some that do like special decals, but this step isn't necessarily needed if you're doing it for if you're not doing it for any special event or anything. You really don't have to do this, and also that is also debatable if you want to. Again, and the finishing of the concha and stuff is solely up to the person that is finishing them. So if you want to do like a special decal or something, that's fine. But again, Not needed. If you want to flavor the dough, all you gotta do is just take out the vanilla extract that's in this and replace it with what you're doing. You also may have to, depending on what you're putting in, adjust the fat content. So that's, again, a questionable thing. If you want to do it, if you want to do just plain vanilla, like this, just to prove you can do something like this, that's perfectly fine. If you want to try and be fancy and do a special design, again, your call. But yeah, that's pretty much all that you need to know about how the Concha, how to make it, and etc. So, hope you guys like this. If you want to find more horror stuff like this, I have my YouTube channel. And just comment, like, and subscribe. And again, if I get 100 views, I will do a specialty bread head recipe that I myself have made. So pretty much all the recipes on there I have not. They are from different people, or different groups. So this would be kind of like a very cool thing to do. So, thank you everyone, and have fun with this.